This program is brought to you by Hotel Enterprise, where your every need is catered for. Located at 44 Spencer Street, Melbourne.
In like Yugoslavia, these teenagers, I think they're called like the Black Death Cult or something, they've gone on this like suicide kick.
What?
They've started offing themselves, and the state officials don't know what to do about it.
I swear, people in Europe are such the posers.
But the best part is, they get their inspiration from like Joy Division, The Cure, The Smiths.
Guess they can't buy Jesus and Mary Chain over there.
So now all the parents are banning their kids from listening to these groups.
You're making this all up.
It was in the LA Weekly.
It's like something to fly in the most beautiful, amazing penis I've ever seen. I'm not a course.
That's the fucking fire extinguisher.
God, I can still smell them. Why did fags have to wear so much perfume?
So they can sniff each other out in the dark.
If you don't light any matches. There's a little slut.
Lick my love gun. Yeah, let's legit.
G'day and welcome to another episode of 25 Frames. We're just back from a clip from Totally Fucked Up, a Greg Araki film from 1993, which we're going to be having a look at today, which is a complete contrast to some of the other films we've had a look at, you know, very angsty and in your face. Joining us to discuss this film today, we have Rocket, the girl with like the best name in the entire universe. We love that. Thanks for joining us, Rocket. And we've got Neil Kerlogue.
Yeah.
G'day.
Hi, yeah. Rocket, not named after the lettuce, but the spacecraft.
No. Well, see, it's got so many different applications, but that's not what we're discussing today. We're talking about Totally Fucked Up. And, okay, this film's got lots of really, really interesting characters. It's basically a story of teenage angst. You know, I think it's called like another homo movie by Greg Araki depicting teenage angst.
Teen angst comes up as a title as well.
Yeah, throughout the film. It's sort of a 15, he calls it about 15 random bits of celluloid.
Yeah, although they're not random, actually.
No, very, very much constructed.
Put in a certain order, very specific. Yeah.
Firstly, there's quite a few characters in this film, and it's not really just one person's story, even though one features towards the end, which we won't ruin for you. But I thought we might start off by talking about some of these characters and what you thought about them. So, for example, there's quite a wide variety of them. I mean, there's very much something for everyone, wouldn't you say? There's like there's people who are single, you know, different races. Bisexual, certainly not just gay and lesbian. Yeah. So I thought we'd. What do you think about the characterizations? You know.
Yeah, I think it does seem that they're a point of identification for a kind of audience who can relate to those lifestyles. It does seem to be speaking to a generation of people about feeling alienated and bored and all those things that come up in the movie. And that's a really good clip that was shown there, just showing that's the group of teenagers that you see in the film. Yeah. And the discussion of suicide, because this is also really central to what goes on. Yeah. And in a sense, it's like a suspense movie, because who is going to commit suicide seems to be the subject of the film.
Yeah. What I liked about that scene too is just that the signpost with the word "end" on it kind of very much gives you a bit of a clue about what the style of the film's like, and his films generally.
Yeah, there's also a theme of doom and Holocaust that comes across, and that's expressed in various ways too.
Yeah. I was interested in what you thought too about the fact that some of the characters are actually quite chirpy and almost like they don't care about some of the things that are going on in their lives. You're talking about like as if they were tuning out and that sort of thing.
Yeah, the tuning out is a motif that comes through in the film, that TV sets are often seen but they're not on the station, or you hear something in the background, there's lots of static. It's as if there's a metaphor for tuning out of society and so on,
Yeah. What do you think about some of the ways the characters are represented? Would you say they're pretty stereotypical, Rocket?
Pardon?
Would you say that that some of the characters in the film are kind of quite stereotypical, or would you say that it tries to move away from that?
I think they try to cover everyone in the world that may experience something like
Okay.
what they are doing, although they're doing something.
Yeah.
It's being depicted very broadly.
Okay. Because you were saying that before, that you felt that anyone watching this film would connect with at least one of the characters in their journey throughout it. Is that?
Well, that's certainly how I felt.
Okay.
When I was watching it, I didn't only I could not only relate to just one character. I could relate bits and pieces from each of the characters.
Okay.
So
And you were saying it's not just a Western thing, but you were saying it in
Yeah.
Hong Kong even.
Yeah,
that,
Asian as well.
Okay.
I don't think there's any race.
Yeah.
There's differentiation of race.
It's a pretty good collection and cast, really, isn't
Well,
it?
and Greg Araki is a Japanese-American filmmaker too,
Okay.
so I think he's tried for something kind of universal, the contemporary market-driven society and the people who kind of don't fit into that, because they also don't even fit into the queer mainstream in the film. They're alienated both from the mainstream and then the sub-mainstream as well.
Yeah.
And also because they're youngsters and it's like you're just growing up, it's going through puberty, the alternative way.
Yeah. Yeah, I sort of got that too. Particularly growing up in a situation where you don't feel like you belong. I mean, it's bad enough, you know, in a sort of mainstream straight society when you don't feel like you belong, but also knowing that you don't fit into those little pockets created by your own queer community. So that was quite interesting. I think we've got another clip coming up, so we'll just go out and have a bit of a look at that. So,
Yeah, no.
great.
And just what I came up with. What's in? Bigotry, sexism, Jesus, homophobia, stupidity, violence, spiritual bullshit, making money. Without punk rock, abortion, sex.
Sexual intercourse. What am I talking about? Sex?
I think it's overrated. It's such an intense release. Like this damn busting.
My favorite thing?
Okay, we're back from that clip. I really like the style of this film, can I say? Just the way that he's done it, and I know it's something that's quite common, that sort of edgy, cut-in, home video style.
It is now. It's very much influenced by the new wave, both of the French cinema of the 60s, but also of new wave music in the 70s. There's a sort of do-it-yourself ethic of just getting in there and making something for yourself that's original, has novel content, but it also plays with style and tries to experiment, does new things. And is also full of protest, driven by a lot of protest and alternative politics.
Yeah, it does come across as being that sort of hard, edgy, trying to really grab your attention for something else. How did you receive it when you first saw it?
I'm sorry, I fell asleep on that part, I guess.
No, we were just talking about how you first received the film. Like when you first saw it, what did you think of the style or the way it was created?
It was home video-like because the way it's been filmed, and then it gave me the illusion of maybe it's real.
Okay.
The characters were real, so it's very well made because it's not real, they're acting.
Yeah, but you really do get drawn into it. It feels like a personal thing is what you mean?
Maybe not personal, but maybe it feels like you're watching a friend's homemade movie like you're reading someone's diary.
Okay, yeah.
Well, in fact, we just saw then a clip from the movie that was part of one of the characters' own video diary. He's filming his friends and what they think about various topics, and also his own personal diary. And we constantly cut between that and real film segments and video clips and the titles. It's actually very much like what Jean-Luc Godard was doing, it still does in a sense, but in the 60s he was doing stuff that was kind of in that style. But Araki's taken it even more into a downbeat sort of lo-fi version.
Yeah. We were saying that before, and we were talking about how it was some like perhaps a less sophisticated version of that. Do you think it loses anything though? Do you think that this style perhaps at times doesn't work? Was there anything that didn't really work for you in the way that he put this together that you can think of?
Well, it can. I mean, I certainly did when I was just looking through some customer reviews on the database and so on. And some of the people who watched it just thought it was the worst film they've ever seen in their lives. It comes across as boring. There's not really a narrative edge to it. It's quite loose, even though there is a kind of story and so on of sorts. But and the way it's all cut up and so on, I think it does. The film actually deliberately alienates people who are mainstream in mentality. I think that's part of what it's trying to do.
Yeah, and because it is so cut up into little clips. Bits and pieces, you really need to concentrate to catch what he's trying to say.
Okay.
As a whole, that's why it's totally fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting, because for me, like, I actually found that it actually flowed somewhere. Like, I didn't really find myself losing myself. I suppose it just depends how you individually interpret something like that.
Yeah, I think in a sense it perhaps creates a wedge that for a younger audience who are used to media being everywhere, multiple channels, zapping between different things on TV, not really caring too much about staying loyal to one particular program, and this type of way of looking at the media, comes up in this film in the style in which it's put together. So we're watching a film which is a series of fragments.
Yeah.
But if you're prepared for that, if you're used to that, then you can kind of take it in on that level and accept the idea that there's a whole bunch of different edits.
Yeah. I mean, aside from style too, I mean, he's one of those directors that if you had to put a cliche on it, it's political and it's certainly gloomy, controversial and gloomy. What do you think about that? I mean, does it have that reading for you, looking at this particular film?
Yes, it does.
It is very gloomy, isn't it? It's just that really...
There's a lot of... While I was watching it, I questioned myself a lot.
Okay.
Like, do I feel that way? Did I feel that way when I was their age?
Yeah. It certainly makes those emotions seem a lot more serious than, or a lot more powerful than if it was just sort of said and it wasn't so darkly.
Do you think that has something to do with the lighting as well?
I think so. I mean,
dark.
It is. I mean,
really
it's actually literally dark.
Most of it's done at night or it's indoors. There's not many daytime shots.
No bright colours.
Yeah.
And there are no decorations indoors, like interiors, so it's just mainly focused on the characters and what they're saying.
Yeah, I certainly found that. How about the political edge? There's lots of very deliberate political statements.
There's this theme of the Holocaust that comes across a lot of the time.
Okay.
About, and this really relates to the queer content, which we haven't really discussed, but there is this sense of being young and queer, being out of the mainstream, being hated by, or feeling like you're being hated by most of society, and there's this...
denied.
Sense of like looming suicide, or that AIDS is always on the horizon, or there's some sort
Lots
of like
AIDS
government conspiracy to kill off the homosexual community.
That I thought was fantastic, because I remember when I first saw the film, I mean, I was quite young, I didn't really know that much about the situations of AIDS in politics and that sort of thing. That was great. All the AIDS references, the T-shirts, the Blame Society T-shirts, fantastic, make it really... interesting that these people who are so apathetic in the film, the characters themselves, are actually quite strongly political. I thought that was quite interesting.
And they're so young as well?
Yeah. I mean, one of my favourite scenes, I don't know if you guys thought it was funny, but when the two lesbians in the film are talking about heterosexual people being stupid, and they're the only ones that breed, and the world gets stupider and stupider. I thought it's quite...
But the cool people don't breed.
The cool people don't breed, so that's how we know we're cool, you see. That must be what it is. But
well, not necessarily, because they don't really fit into the queer mainstream either. So, yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, I certainly like the film, and it's certainly out there to rent and all that sort of thing. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We're just going to head out with a clip from the movie just to end 25 Frames. Join us next week for another episode of 25 Frames. See you then.
Acid rain, nuclear dumping. No ozone left. The whole fucking planet's a goner. I give it another 5 years max.
You're sure in a chipper mood today. You get laid last night? Oh shit. Who's the unlucky dude?
Friend.
Was he like... You mean he was like... So what? You gonna see him again?
Guess so.
Is it like serious or something?
It makes my heart beat.
Sure you don't mean it makes you beat hard?
Tom.
This program is brought to you by Hotel Enterprise, where your every need is catered for. Located at 44 Spencer Street, Melbourne. Where your every need is